Welcome, entrepreneurs. Welcome to today's Four Pillars of Entrepreneurship Virtual Summit. It's a holistic approach to entrepreneurship in the area of health, wealth, personal growth, and business development. My name is Annie Hardock, Chair of the United Networks for Growth, and I'm happy today to have Ed Rempel with us today to talk about the financial wellness. All right. Ed is a fee-for-service financial planner and tax accountant, as well as a popular, passionate blogger. His blog is the #1 blog in Canada by a full-service financial planner, and he is widely published in the media. He has helped thousands of Canadians become financially secure through a financial plan that becomes the GPS of their lives. He has written hundreds of articles to educate the public on his unique insights and strategies that actually work, instead of the conventional wisdom common in the financial services industry and the media. Hi, Ed. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Annie. How are you?
Good. I'm very intrigued about your method of financial advice that is unique and different than what's out in the market. Can you tell me more about your method?
Yes. Okay. Because the biggest thing about our method is that we're very focused on financial planning. And while everyone in the industry talks about it, we actually do it. And you can tell the difference when you actually do it. So when you actually have a plan, it changes your, think of it as the GPS for your life. It changes what you do and how you view everything. So once you have one, you know exactly what you have to do to achieve all your life goals. To retire, you know exactly how much you have to save and where to put it and what's the most tax efficient way to do it. And what we found is, from when we started doing financial plans for people, we found that for most Canadians, we're actually way behind. What they were doing wasn't going to be anywhere close to enough. And we had to look for ways to get them much closer. So one thing is, it changes the way we invest. We have much more long-term effective investments instead of focusing on short-term ups and downs on the markets. And we've developed over the years a number of really cool strategies that make it a lot easier for people to achieve their goals.
Mm-hmm. And I know you have unique names. It's like the Smith maneuver for renters, or like the life cycle investing and GIS strategy. And what are they?
Yeah, so each one of those is a strategy, and they all work for certain people in certain cases that can help them achieve their goals. So Smith maneuver, it's a way that you can invest for your retirement without using your cash flow, because you're using your home equity for it. Okay, and so what was the life cycle investing? To me, this is the #1 strategy I think that millennials should do, because millennials, you start out with so little investments that if you track what happens with, when you're young, you have so little investing, the rate of return you make the rate of return you make in the first 10, 20 years doesn't even matter, because you have so little invested. Right, you're invested over 40 years, and it's usually only the return at the end that matters. So by getting a larger amount invested earlier, you buy your retirement like your house. You start with a large lump sum, just the way you would buy a house and pay it off. You do that kind of a strategy, and I think it's the single most effective thing that millennials can do to try to build wealth. The GIS strategy, that's one we just found a fair number of. With effective tax planning, we have clients that can retire even with quite comfortable incomes, and yet are able to plan to get extra money from the government. There's various programs that are all clawed back based on income, and because we're expert tax planners, we can find ways to do all that as well. So we also use an RSP top-up. It's a way people can use the same amount of money to get a larger amount contributed into their RSP every year. So we just developed all these different strategies to try to help our clients get closer to their goals.
Good. And I know that you have other methods called Cash Dam and Rempel Maximum. What are they?
So Cash Dam is it's if you have a rental property, or you have a business that's not in a corporation, you can use them to help make your home mortgage tax deductible. So those are just strictly a tax strategy only, but it can work in some cases, especially if you have a business with quite a bit of volume that's non-incorporated. You can make your mortgage tax deductible pretty fast in some cases. So, sorry, what was the other one?
The other one is Rempel Maximum.
Oh, the Rempel Maximum. That's one that I developed myself. It's basically a version of the Smith maneuver to try to maximize it. So if you have someone that really wants to just, somebody who's got a long-term focus and a good risk tolerance and just wants to build the maximum possible wealth, it's a version of the Smith maneuver. What's the biggest you can do without using more of your cash flow? So we worked out the theoretical maximum wealth building strategy you can do.
Wow. So you have developed all these different strategy that helps people of different age and at different stage of their life to plan, right? Giving them a blueprint. That's how I understand it.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. And also with your being a tax accountant background, it really complements what you're doing as a financial planner.
Yes, well, yeah, we're creating the plan, but everything you do is tax consequences. So we always kind of look at what's the way to, with this strategy or this method, how do we pay the least amount of tax? And tax, we look over the client's life, not just the current year. How do we pay less tax over your life? Mm-hmm. So, it gets into, should you use RSP or TFSA or non-registered, and whose name should it be in? And
yes, and this I know that you're from Ontario. Does this apply to anyone across Canada?
Yes, I have clients all across Canada. In fact, with video conferences like Zoom, like this, we find it's almost a meeting on a video than it does in person. So,
right.
So we have clients all across Canada, and there's no reason not to work with anybody. I think a lot of people like to find a local advisor, but I think you're better off finding a financial planner with very high quality advice than just somebody who lives close to you.
Yes, I know you're giving like lots of different advices, not necessarily advisors, but knowledge to many people on the blog, right? You have thousands, 15,000, like on social media and also on your blog, right? That you have a lot of information. How long have you been blogging?
Well, I started blogging back in about 2004, but for the first while, I was just writing articles on other people's blogs. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of enjoyed it as a way to share what I knew. I just really enjoyed talking about it. And it was only in 2015 that I finally set up my own blog. Yes. And I've been quite amazed at how quickly it started up. I thought starting with somebody else's blog, I'd have an immediate, they've already got lots of followers. Mm-hmm. So starting with your own, you have to start from scratch. Yes. But yeah, my blog's been chosen number one in Canada for a full service financial planner by several rating agencies like FeedSpot and Expertito.
Wow.
So yeah, I've got a good following actually, and it feels good to make a difference, educating Canadians. I find so much of what's out there really doesn't work and is all, written about by people who don't have the experience with planning.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and what I know is that you also attract like people that's of different age, and they become your clients just through your blog. Am I correct?
Yes. We have all ages, from very young to very old. I think the ones that we have more of are the people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, the professionals that are saving up for retirement.
Right.
And those people, we have some more effective wealth building strategies, and that tend to really work for people in those groups. But lately we've been getting more retirees just because it's we have people know how to structure the retirement income. So you build up all this money, now how do you make it work, and how much can you take out and be confident it's going to last as long as you do, and how do you minimize tax on it?
Right.
Again, the things that most people do cost a lot more tax than if you plan it well.
Yes. Like with the technology now, you can actually build your relationship just like online with people, but you also have the opportunity to face with you, right? Am I correct?
Yes. Yes, exactly. Well, we have a certain number that are face to face, but we do find most of the time we talk on most of our clients are not that local.
Mm-hmm.
And even the ones that are in Toronto, rather than commuting, it's easier to just go on a video conference or talk on the phone or.
Yes. Yeah. So, why does how do you having a financial plan affect your clients' lives?
It makes a much bigger difference than you think. And a lot of people think that they have a plan because they went to the bank and somebody printed off something, gave it to them. But when you have a plan, we work it out very much in depth. What is the goal that you want to have? For example, retirement. What specifically, how do you want to retire? And then from that, we can work out, and when do you want to retire? We can work out exactly what you have to do to be able to get there and what the most effective method is. And once you have that, then this big weight is taken off your shoulders. Like people often, they make some money, but they don't know what they can afford and what they can't. Well, now you know exactly how much you have to save to achieve all your life goals. The rest of your money, you can spend it without guilt. And you go with it confidently. And one of the big things I found is that we have a much higher proportion of equity investing. So most people, are 60% stocks, 40% bonds, a fairly conservative thing. But when you study stocks and look what happens over long periods of time, stocks are actually more predictable than bonds. So bonds is all, I find the investment industry is all about short-term ups and downs, and they're all worried, are we going to have a crash soon? We forget all about that stuff. All it is, your retirement goal has a long-term return of 8% or 6% or whatever it is. What's the risk? How do we minimize the risk of getting the long-term rate of return? And to do that, you have a much higher proportion in stocks, and you can be much more confident of it that way. So from that way, our clients tend to have far higher returns than people that work with ordinary investment advisors or even robo-advisors that are focused on the short-term fluctuations. We're thinking long-term.
Mm-hmm.
So it changes your entire outlook once you have a plan and you think that way.
Yeah.
The difference between having a GPS and not having a GPS. Without a GPS, you're always worried about the next turn. With it, you know exactly what you're doing and exactly where to go.
Right. And you help your clients, besides doing like the GPS type of plan, you also help them to select the products, like what they invest in, or it's up to them to follow the plan and execute?
Well, investing, we work with a couple of portfolio managers that I've hand selected. Did a lot of research on different portfolio managers. I'm trying to find, these I think are the, they can be the elite investors when you find a really good portfolio manager. So we're working with a couple of specific portfolio managers that I think, that I'm quite confident should have long-term returns ahead of the indexes, and that'll do a really good job of managing all of our clients' money.
Good.
So we don't do it ourselves because we're busy talking to clients.
Yes.
We go out and we find the world's best investors and let them invest for you.
Good. And and why did you become a fee-for-service financial planner? Tell me your story.
Yeah, that was all about trying to be the highest quality financial planner that I could be. So for years I was a regular mutual fund guy, and all the dealers we were with didn't have a platform where you could go fee for service. So finally we thought, okay, you know what? We're just going to go directly to the portfolio managers, set this up directly, and what it allows us to do is, so we're charging people directly instead of having deferred sales charge and buried fees and all that. It's all charged directly, so it's all disclosed, so people can see exactly what they're paying for what they get. So we're trying to get the highest level of care for clients. So I have it as a certified financial planner, but also independent portfolio managers are the only people in the investment industry with a fiduciary duty to do the best, put your clients standards first, or what's important to them first.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted to go with transparent fees, fiduciary duty, investing only with the top portfolio managers, and basically we're trying to take the lead and to have the highest possible standards for financial planning. The other big thing that we do is we only take on clients when they work 100% with us, and I think that actually is really the only way to go. If you have two financial planners, what you really have is two investment salespeople trying to sell you stuff, and neither one of them knows the picture. Neither one of them knows your goals. It's the same reason why you have one family doctor and not two, because one that knows you completely is better than two different ones that have different opinions. And
right.
So we're actually here to try to make a big difference in people's lives. So we only take on clients when they're really serious and they want to work 100% with us, and so that's why we became fee-for-service planners. We're trying to be at the very highest level of service.
Yes. Yeah, like you mentioned before, it's like you get lots of the leads is through your blogs, like, or online, but you spend the time to find out, like, who's your real clients are, right? To accept, you don't just accept anyone that just come to you, right? It has to be a match of what you're trying to help them with, right?
Yeah, to be honest, we have, probably 30 people a month come to us to try to be financial planner, to become our clients, but we're only looking for the people that really want to work 100% with us and are serious. So we only take on 2 a month. Mm-hmm. We spend quite a bit of time screening them, right. But because we're just trying to find people that we really want to work with and people that we like. At this point in my career, we don't have to take on everybody, just the people we really like.
Right.
Which makes our job kind of fun, we're just working with a bunch of friends.
Yes. So how can people contact you? I know you have your website. Can you tell us about how people can reach out to you?
Yeah, so my blog, it's just my name, edrempel.com. You can also find it under unconventionalwisdom.ca, but don't go to unconventionalwisdom.com. That's a scam site, but unconventionalwisdom.ca, we're in Canada, is my blog. And I try to, have I think my blog is, very different than other financial blogs out there because I've actually got the experience. I've written over 1,000 financial plans for people, and I've been in the trenches with real clients knowing exactly what really works. And right. You'll see that in my articles. I think you'll see they're much more, they're quite in depth this way.
Yes, actually you have lots of content on your blog, right? So it's accumulated of knowledge that you have put out to share with others.
Yes, and I always have so much more I want to write. Eventually when I semi-retire, I'll be able to write much more. Mm-hmm. And there's just so much that I've always, some bloggers always think, what should I write about? I'm the opposite. Right now, I have 100 topics that I'm compelled to write about, but I just don't have time to write for them.
Oh, have you ever think about writing a book?
I have, so maybe I will eventually do that. I've been too busy with clients to be able to do that yet at this point.
But that's part of it that you can share with a lot more people because it's written, right? Like.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think that is the way to go.
Yes. I think for any professionals like yours and giving like helping lots of people, I think a book is really something, even an ebook that you can share, so people don't have to search a lot, like on because you have so much information on your blog to find those critical one that they really need. And actually, I know one thing that you are going to give our audience a gift. Can you mention about what you're giving them?
Yes. So I think for most people, they may think that there's so much to know about finances, and there's so much information. How do you actually distill it? And so what I did is I tried to focus on what are the few things that people really need to know. Like most of the financial knowledge you don't really need to know. So what are the few things? And I put all of them into one video that's just under an hour long. So just think of it like a TV show. And it's right on my blog, and you can watch it. Now, it's not a high quality video like the one you're making here, Annie. It's a lower quality one with visuals, but
Okay.
I think
It's the knowledge that we are looking for.
it's 1 hour, and it'll teach you everything that's really important to know about finances.
Mm-hmm. And it's called the 6 Steps to Become Financially Independent.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and you can find that on my blog. If she's not working at the moment, but it will shortly. If you go to my blog, just the banner will come down from the top, and you can click on it.
We will actually post it on along with this video on a
You can
page.
also find that on videos. There's a video section in my blog.
That the 6 steps to become financially independent.
Yes.
I think that sounds really good because like only 6 steps. If I can do these 6 steps, and I can become financially independent.
Exactly. And we can help you with every step of it.
Right. And you have the master of doing the blueprint or like GPS for people's financial plan. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes. Accept.
Exactly. From experience, from writing over 1,000 plans for people, it's you learn a lot just from experience.
Yes, because everyone has a different needs, right, and different goals, and
Yes.
you have seen it enough, I guess. Is there any one particular case that you find it very difficult to write a plan for someone out of thousands that you have written?
One case where it was difficult?
Yes, that you find it really tricky, that stood out to you.
Well, actually, the ones that are more, because I'm a very detailed analytical guy. So the ones that are more complex are actually the ones that I find that I found most interesting. When there's a real challenge on how things are complicated. So actually, let's sit down and I've had some clients where there's several big decisions they're trying to make all at once, and it's just too much.
Yes.
So then let's kind of break out. Okay, let's make the long-term goal. Then let's decide which decision is important. And then let's look at each decision on its own. And so when you put it all together in a plan, you can actually make you can figure out exactly what to do. And I find a lot of decisions that people struggle with, you can actually sit down and do the math. Okay, so you're looking at 2 options. Let's just do the math. Which one do you think is going to work out better? You can actually figure it out, right? Mm-hmm. Optimize each method, which one actually works out better for you. It's amazing how often things like that can make it really clear. The things that you struggle with, that can actually be you can come out with it. You know what? Now I know exactly what the right answer is. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, it's just all these extra methods. So I guess one satisfying one is we had one client that was with us for quite a few years, and after they retired, he actually looked back and said, just because we actually had the plan, they invested more than they would otherwise. They did several other strategies, and all of that made a difference. When he looks back on it, he says, all of that, because of all that, we're retired with $20,000 a year more than we would have had otherwise. And that's the difference between now we can go and travel and do all these fun things. And if we hadn't had that money, we'd be stuck at home, and you're just scrimping and saving all the way through your retirement.
Wow.
I get a good feeling when I can, when people see the difference that it's made in their life.
Yes. That's really like with evidence that you have like helped people to change lives, because lots of them may not have that vision of seeing far ahead about their financial wellness when they retire, right?
Yes, exactly. So,
yeah, I remember when I was in my 20s, I thought, why would I do that? Why would I put the money away for retirement? I just started, right? I was in that mode. It's like, oh, yeah, you put in the RSP, and then when your income is lower that year, you don't have to wait until you retire. You can take the money out on the time. But then because I just started with my career, and then I just say, why would my income goes down? I was just expecting that I will just keep achieving, and I would just keep making money higher. Like that's the thinking of when I was in my 20s. Right?
Yes, when you're in your 20s, long term is the weekend, right? Right? So you have to think past that into, like what's going to make a difference way down over your life. And when you look at, the stock market tends to, on average, historically has doubled about every 7 years. And if you start when you're young and you think, well, if I get 5 doubles instead of 4, you know what I mean, or 6 doubles instead of 4, it's amazing how much difference that can make and how much money you have down the road.
Yes.
And how comfortable your life will be later.
Yes. Well, I would say, the earlier that people start thinking about their financial wellness, because everyone just thinking about their health and their diet, their physical body, but less like thinking about their financial wellness, right?
Yeah.
Until oops, it's retirement time. Okay.
Yes.
Too late.
Well, you know what's new, Annie? What I didn't see years ago that I've seen a fair amount of recently is the new FIRE community. All the people that are trying to, get financially independent really early. And so, I'm working with plans for people who are trying to retire at 35 or 40.
Oh, wow. I just remember the commercial, Freedom 55. I can't remember what company it was advertising about Freedom 55.
Yeah, it was a good slogan, and not a good idea, but a good slogan. Yeah. Yeah,
but it's the awareness, I guess, that what people have to think more about their financial wellness, and that's why I started this United Networks for Growth about 4 pillars of entrepreneurship. It's not just about business development. I think a holistic approach for entrepreneurship is that they have to also look into their health and their financial wellness, and the personal growth are equally important as the business development, right? Because you not just have achievement, but not really feel fulfilled in your life. So what are you working for?
You have to fit it in. It's a balance in your life. I think, so some of the main reasons people don't do a financial plan is because, for one, often they're just too busy, and their life is too busy, and they just don't get around to thinking about it. And a big thing is you don't know who to trust, who's knowledgeable and who can you really trust. The other thing is, I think a fair number of people, especially guys, often think, they should do it themselves. I have to invest myself because I'm most guys think they're the world's best investor. They don't, they want to search out and find somebody who can be like, who is the world's best investor? Let's go out and find those people, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's, I think people get stuck in certain modes that hold them back, and then they end up with no plan. And consequently, they're kind of aimless, and it's something that bothers them all the time. So, but when you have a plan, you know what you're doing, and it's all looked after. Now you can focus on your health and focus on your family, and all the things that are really important in your life.
Yes, and don't get stressed out, right? Financially,
exactly, right? Exactly.
When you are stressed out, you can't really do a good plan on your business. You can't think straight. Yeah, financial stress is it's quite high in the area for entrepreneurs too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, being an entrepreneur myself, yes.
Yes.
I've been through the ups and downs of entrepreneurship.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Ed, for today's talk. And I think our audience get a lot out from it. And I hope that everyone should start with a financial plan if they don't have one already, right? Any age, it's a blueprint, like a GPS of where you want it to go, right?
Exactly.
Thank you. So remember to connect with Ed on his website, and we will post a link to receive your 1-hour video on the topic, the 6 steps to become financially independent. So thank you, Ed, and happy to have talked to you today.
All right. It's a pleasure talking to you, Annie.
Thank you.